Hey guys, Foxdrop here, welcome to another Road to Master video. This is another one of these pre-recorded ones that I'm talking over. We're jumping right into the action today as well. Don't want to waste any of your time with any boring intros. Today we're playing as Olaf. I know I haven't played too much jungle recently, so I'm trying to get some more jungle footage for you guys. Trying to play some more jungle. But again, the season is fast approaching. The season end is fast approaching, I should say. So I'm trying to spam as many games. And this right here, what you're seeing, this is kind of my journey to Diamond 1, because I'm still at mid D2 right now. And obviously, like, if I can make this final push into D1, then I can really make that push for Master Tier as well. So it all really comes down to whether or not I can get into D1 and get out of Diamond 2. Because, like, if I get... Basically, I'm trying to get into my Diamond 1 promos. That's the story of the episode today. So Olaf is one of these champions who I'm starting to play a lot more as... in my jungle role, because he's really simple to play. He brings a lot to the table in my opinion. I know LS/Shadow doesn't like Olaf, but honestly for solo queue I think he's really strong. You just run at people, it's really hard to get Olaf away from you, and you know, he's tanky. He brings a lot to the table as far as solo queue goes. He's just that big front line. He does a lot of damage, he does everything you need him to do. And it's Olaf, man. What more is there to say? I honestly think that Ghost as well is pretty overpowered right now. Like, Ghost as a summoner spell I think is really busted actually. It has such a low cooldown for what it does. Like, once you've got it on, it's just like free initiation, you stick on someone, it's really strong. And the fact that it has like a 2-minute cooldown is just pretty vile, honestly. It's really good. Combine that obviously with Olaf's ultimate and it's crazy, honestly. And then if you get Red Smite as well, then yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So I stuck the elo on screen as well for this video too. As you'll see just above my webcam, you'll see the elos popping up. That's the elo that I'm at when I'm starting the game, because we are pretty much D2 0 points at the beginning of this session. So we're trying to, it's pretty bloody hard for us to get to D1. But also bear in mind that these games were played maybe 1 or 2 days ago, so there is like some window for me here. You'll be seeing this video probably on like the day that the season ends, but I do have like a few more episodes to come out just so you guys can kind of see my progress to Master Tier and see how far I can get to that goal, if I can achieve that goal as well. So either way, Olaf is our second game of Olaf today, so you're getting 2 jungle games, and not just one tricking bloody Nautilus and Blitzcrank today, although you'll probably be seeing a lot of those as well. But two jungle games, boys and girls. Holy moly, the whole reason you guys subscribe to me on YouTube in the first place, to watch me play jungle, you're actually seeing it now, good lord. I know you don't really get to see too much of my actual jungling, this is more like the story, I suppose, of me trying to reach my goal. But I'll make sure to kind of release some more videos about really strategy and stuff, because what I'm really enjoying about these past few days, I've just been spamming spamming solo queue, is that I've really felt like I've improved a lot as a player, and I found that really important, because I actually feel like I know more now about the game that I can teach you guys. Like, when I first started my YouTube channel, it was in season 2, and I was like 2k elo or whatever it was, which is a pretty good elo. That's like, I would say almost Master Tier elo, I would argue, almost Master Tier elo, like equivalent nowadays. I was pretty good at the game, and you know, I knew a lot how to win games. I knew about my strategies, how to win games, and I taught you guys those strategies. Whereas I feel like because I've had less passion to play League recently, like I've been worse, honestly. These past few seasons I've just not been a good League player. I mean, decent, but not like as good as I was when I started. By the way, this play coming up. Oh god, I've watched this playback like 4 times, man. I love that play. It's just the worst play in the history of mankind. It just looks absolutely ridiculous. It's just bonkers, man. It's just like, if I was Blitzcrank and made that play, like flash grabbing, then obviously that's stupid. But the fact that I'm Nautilus, I pull myself away from the fight as well. Oh dear, beautiful stuff. But yeah, basically, I'm looking forward to coming up with next season to really being good at this game again and teaching you guys how you can be good as well, and how you guys can win solo queue. Either way, that's a lot of chat I've been doing right there. 3rd game of the day, 2 wins under our belts already, not too bad. And the 3rd game is Nautilus. Nautilus obviously is our best top laner. I pick him because it's really easy to play him in team fights. It's really kind of easy to play him in lane phase. Like, you don't really have to do too much. You can lose lane and still win, which is the great thing about him. If you guys kind of saw any of these games, like when I was streaming or something, then you know, you actually saw the whole game, then you would see that I don't tend to do too well in the lane phase. This play as well being quite funny. And the chat, the XDDDs in the chat. Like, honestly, I look back at these, like, when I watched this video through, right, so I know what I want to talk about. And when I saw that play and just saw like my reaction to it in the camera, like I'm not streaming or anything, I'm just playing by myself, I'm just playing in my room, you know, just chilling playing. And I saw that, you know, I saw my reaction on the camera, I see what I say in chat. It's just like, it feels nice to actually, you know, enjoy League of Legends. Like, and I was really enjoying myself playing these games. It was good. I just felt good about myself playing these games and just chilling out and just, well, it's not really chill, it's pretty pressure actually, in it, you know, do or die for Master Tier. But I think that's really important about League. You know, it's really important to play League of Legends and to enjoy playing League of Legends, and to just, you know, just find what it is that gives you that passion for League and makes this a game that's so enjoyable to play, the most played game in the world. What is it that you get out of League that makes League what it is for you? You know, a bit of flex there in the cam as well. You know, that's important. That's what you got to find. And just these games, I found that stuff in these games, and I felt really good about that. And, you know, just looking back at it, it makes me happy, you know, to see that kind of stuff. So the fourth game here, we're playing Blitzcrank, 3 victories in a row. This right here is a bit awkward because this is a really good level 2. You know, this should be pretty easy first blood, honestly, for us. But Ez actually flashed on the spot at level 1. He was like typing or something. I don't know what he did, but he flashed on the spot level 1, so he didn't have his flash up. So instead of us getting first blood on Jin, he survives on 10 health. Instead of us getting that first blood, which would have been finished off with Ez flash, auto attack, whatever. Ez 10 HP feels bad, man, as I say in the chat. Instead of that, basically, what we get out of it is Graves comes in and kills us both, which really sucks, honestly, that kind of thing. Like, I've had quite a few plays, honestly, in this series where my bot lane has done like some really weird stuff. Like, they've just like jumped in and not healed, and so we've lost the 2v2, which would have been like a easy 2v2 for us. And like that, like, he has no flash at level 1. It's just really weird. It's really strange. And you saw that right there as well. We may need to rewind a little bit, but Ez actually teleported in the minions there, which is really peculiar as well. But this game was an interesting one, because I remember our top laner was saying, yo, bot lane, just play safe, you're feeding, stop feeding, play safe. When actually we were what the hell was Shad doing? We were stomping. Sorry, Shad's finding a way to destroy my room. We were stomping really hard, honestly. Like, we were fighting them, and they'd either survive really low, or like Graves would come and mop us up after they survived really low. But we still, you know, and in that situation, even though they've killed us like 2 or 3 times, we still managed to kill like all of them, all 3 of them. You know, like, even though jungler comes and we still kill him. So, you know, my Blitzcrank, I have a lot of confidence in my Blitzcrank right now. I honestly just think I'm just so good at this champion, legitimately. If I improve my decision making a little bit, there were a few games that I was kind of throwing, well, not necessarily throwing, but like I could have played better to actually win the game. We get those games under our belt, we win those games, and, you know, I can climb really hard on this Blitzcrank. But, you know, it's like, I do genuinely think that's kind of the best way to climb in League. Is you don't necessarily have to do anything massive to change that. You don't necessarily have to stomp your lane harder. You don't necessarily have to do all these, you know, little things. I just think, like, in my opinion, how you carry, or how you climb in League, or how you get like higher elo than you are right now, like say you're gold 5 and you want to get gold 3 or whatever, I kind of think like the best way to do it, all you need to do is to just have these games that are really close and just don't throw them, you know, or whatever. These games that you think, God, we should have won that, just think about, okay, what were the things that you did in that game that made it so that this was a really close game that you ended up losing instead of a really close game that you ended up winning? What more could you have done? Work on that kind of stuff. Look at my reactions in the corner, man. I'm loving this. Work on that kind of stuff, and you know, instead of like losing 20 LP, you'll gain 20 LP, so it's like 40 LP swing. It's a pretty big deal, and that's how you climb, in my opinion. You know, and then outside of that, like once you do climb, and once you do have those games under your belt, and you do start getting a bit more MMR, you start playing with better players, then you start learning, you know, you play with better players, and from that you kind of learn how to play the game a bit better, and then you become a better player. I'm just going to pick up Shad here, because what are you doing, Will? What are you doing, Scruffy? You silly little man. I see you walking around, you being a little silly little dog, aren't you, Shad? Yes, hello, Shad, I love you too. So this is game number 5 now, I think it is. Another Blitzcrank game. Like I say, I think Blitzcrank is probably my best champion right now. Ever since like season 3, he's honest. I've always had a 60% win rate or higher on Blitzcrank. I don't know why I don't just one trick him. I was actually playing with Ahxello. You guys know Ahxello, like the Z main. I think that was last episode. Maybe it's this. I think it's actually the end of this episode. You'll see some Ahxello, some games with Ahxello. And you know, he told me, he was just like, why do you play anything else but Blitzcrank? And it's like, yeah, it's true, man. It's true. Like, my Blitzcrank is just godlike. That sounds really cocky, but at the same time, I think that's quite important to have in solo queue. If you're cocky, then Shaddy. If you're cocky, then I think there's a difference between being cocky and being confident. 1 second. Go on, Shad. Out you go. Yes. Out. Yes. There he is. He's out. Having confidence, I think, is just like is important trait to have. Like, I had a friend called Ed. You guys may have heard of Ed. I've talked about him a few times in some of my past videos. The greatest gamer I've ever known. I think one of the biggest reasons why he was just so good at every game that we played is because, this is probably not the grab I wanted to make, honestly, is because he just was so confident in his ability to play games. Like, he just thought everyone else around him was trash. Now, I know that that's really cocky, and, you know, Ed is a bit of a dickhead, so you know that kind of shows through in that personality trait. There's obviously a balance you got to achieve, but honestly, Ed just believed he was very good at the game, and it made him very good at games because he just didn't over respect anyone, you know. And I think there is an argument to make about having respect to people and not just like, you know, to not make too many mistakes. But honestly, I would say 9 times out of 10, someone's much more likely to make a mistake because they were too passive, because they respected someone too much, than because they didn't respect someone enough. At least in my opinion, that's the way I like to look at it, I think. So this is another one of my godlike, well, I don't know, somewhat semi-godlike Blitzcrank games. A Yasuo on the enemy team who's feeding his ass off. What? Yeah, hello Yasuo, is that... What's going on? How does a Yasuo feed? What's wrong with that? I mean, that must be a bug, right? Surely not. Surely Yasuos don't feed. Holy moly. But we're really close to getting into our promos right now, guys. This will be our promos to Diamond 1. Yes, so this will be our promos to Diamond 1. Diamond, you know, we're in Diamond 2 right now, and getting into Diamond 1 would obviously, like, if we get into these promos, then that's pretty much what we need to have. Because if we don't get into these promos, or if we, you know... Basically, we need to get into Diamond 1 if you want to get into the Master tier. That's pretty obvious, right? So, yeah, let's try and get into our promo. So, we're playing another jungle game. Again, another Olaf game. I think he's a really simple champion to play. And, you know, lane ganking as well is something that I think is a really powerful tool, honestly, in solo queue. And for ganking, like, lane ganking, especially if you're a ghost champion, like someone who can just run someone down, then lane ganking is really important. Like, if you're someone who can't really close the gap too well, then it's sometimes it's hard to lane gank, at least in the way that I did it, if you're not sneaking into bushes at least. But if you are sneaking into bushes, I think lane ganking is really good to do, really simple to do, really easy to do. Because, yeah, it's just like, you know, you run down a lane, and then, boom, you just run at people and you fight them, you kill them. It's pretty simple stuff, really. So this is like looking like a bit of an awkward game. Brand is kind of going off this game. Like, if I remember correctly, this is one of those games where you don't really have too much to work with. Like, I'm what am I 3-2? I'm 4-2-11 at this point, so I'm like doing okay, you know. This is Olaf in a nutshell, by the way. You run at someone, you pop ghost, you pop your ulti. I didn't even hit all my axes here, and you just run someone down. There's nothing she can do about that. And I'm full tank Olaf. I'm full tank. I don't have any damage. I don't have any damage items. I'm full tank. But still, this is a game where we're up in kills, so we probably, you know, we're doing well. Maybe we can do this one. Poppy, I actually think, is one of the strongest top laners around right now. This little bitch that we're hunting down now. I think she's really solid. She's got a good lane phase, and I've actually seen some Poppies carry really hard as well. So, but we're overextending a little bit here. Like, we had a good kind of 1-for-1 there, and now we're kind of making it a little bit too greedy here. So sadly, what happens is, instead of us just going for the 1-for-1, we end up almost all of us getting aced, which is, you know, this is stuff like this that I was talking about how you can kind of change from winning games to losing games, or the other way around. You know, that's an overstay. So if I lose this game, then I'm like, okay, why did I lose this game? You know, it's those kind of plays that I look back on and I'm like, yeah, that was a mistake that I made. So here my intention is just kind of like run at the enemy backline to try my best to kind of disrupt the enemy backline, to have them all just like sitting on me, not attacking my team. And I do achieve that. I would argue I achieve that, but we don't really have anything else to, like, it's not like by me doing that we win the fight. Like, I kind of think that's how I want to play that fight, especially with GA. You just run the back line and you have to die twice. But I don't really think, you know, we were a little bit too far behind in our team fight. Like we had a brand who was doing really well this game, but no one else was doing well at all, honestly. And then we had he was kind of flaming as well, which wasn't ideal. So it was a bit of a tough game. But like I say, you got to look at the things that made it a close game and then change those things. So I wanted to kind of draw attention to the way I play this like level 1 here. Not level 1, sorry, this fight here, because like Ez is someone who's really hard to play against as Blitzcrank. Like here's the epic 1v1 Blitzcrank Ez. It wasn't even calculated, man. I don't know. I just used the minions there. This is the important thing. The power of minions, man. A weak support just 1v1 the enemy AD carry because he had minions to back him up. That's all it was, really. I didn't do anything but have minions there. It was just like, you know, that was it. And also the way that Ez is really good at dodging your hooks, so I kind of make it look like I'm going for Ez and then actually go for Janna instead. And again, grabbing under tower because I'm a god. There it is. 2 kills, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you're look at that cheeky look at the bottom right as I take a sip from my cup of tea. Fantastic stuff. If you can draw attention to your lane, then that's really, you know, all it is that you need to worry about. Like drawing attention to your lane, making the enemy jungler come to you, but still being strong enough to kind of fight, then that's the important stuff. So we're going for like some more plays here. We're in our base though, which isn't great, honestly. Like this is a bit of a tough game, I'm not going to lie. A bit of a tough one. If actually, this is the game with Poppy, right? If I remember correctly, this enemy Poppy carried really bloody hard. And it was my favorite game, I think, from the perspective that this Poppy was like really strong, and this Yasuo just made me laugh, man. Like I actually have a mug, like a cup, like a mug, right, for my tea. That says a fan got it for me. Mumble Jumble, he bought it for me, he sent it to me in my PO box, and it says keep calm and ban Yasuo, because that's like my #1 rule, especially when I'm playing on Smurfs. It's just to ban Yasuo. And if you can kind of pause the video on frames where I'm like pressing tab or something, you'll see how bloody strong this Yasuo, this Poppy is compared to Yasuo. Like Yasuo was like genuinely 0-6-0 or something like that in lane just from 1v1s with Poppy. And like the stuff he says in chat is just pure, it's just comic genius, man. It's so hilarious. Like he genuinely like says things like, yeah, Poppy's is 2 OP, man. Poppy's 2 OP. I press tab and he's like 1 and 11. It's just like, mate, are you sure Poppy's 2 OP or are you just 1 and 11? Like, what's going on there? So it was pretty funny, honestly. Like having people's excuses. It depends how you look at games, because it can be really frustrating to have people like this Yasuo who just feed horrifically and then just like blame everything but themselves. You know how it is. But if you can look back at it like I'm doing now as well, just laughing at it, because it is funny at the end of the day. Like he press tap, he's 111, he's 111 and 5. You know, he was. It's just funny, honestly. Like you can't do anything really but just laugh at the end of the day. Like it's just funny. So yeah, you know, a bit of an unlucky game there, but still, I'm getting a little bit. I don't want to say tilted or anything like that, but I'm getting a little bit. I'm feeling the pressure. You know, I'm feeling the pressure. I think there may be a mistake with the elos here on screen. I think I may have just gained elo from losing that game. That's not quite how it went down, but yeah, basically, like, yeah, it's all good. Ignore that on screen elo. Look at this. These are the games I played with Ahxello though. I met Ahxello randomly in solo queue, and I just, you know, we decided to kind of like, we didn't duo or anything. We just met him. I met him queuing up. He's the Zed god. He teaches a lot of good stuff when it comes to Zed. So if you're interested in learning it, you should definitely check him out. Learning Zed. But yeah, we decided to group up to play some games together. So here we are playing some games of League of Legends together, and playing Blitzcrank again. And this is one of those games where it starts off pretty well for us. Like I'm 1-1-7, like pretty bloody beefy. And this is just stupid though. Like, what's the, like, yes, I get a kind of a good grab on Zillion, but what's the point? It doesn't really achieve anything. Like, I get a good grab, but what does it do? Oh wait, I'm dead. Like, it doesn't really do anything. It's kind of awkward, really. And my role right here, we've got some, you know, some picks onto the enemy team. My role right here is just to zone the enemy team away. Like, we have Nunu, so going for Baron is a really good idea, and having the picks is beautiful. Like having like once you get to like mid game. I mean, this is only 20 minutes, so it doesn't even need to be like that late on into the game. classic blitzcrank grabs too, as you can see my reaction in the in the cam there. You know, just going for Baron and stuff is a really good way to kind of either close a game out, or if you're kind of losing it, to try and win a game. Like sneaking away Baron and stuff. Like this is why Nunu's one of the best picks in the meta right now, I think, as a jungler, because he's so bloody tanky and he can do things like those objectives like really well, really easily. So always take a look at your team. Like for example, if you've got a really good like AD top laner or really fed AD carry, and like a jungler who can facilitate taking Baron quite well, depending on your team comp, you can look to even sneak away a Baron at like 20 minutes. If you've got some really cheesy jungler like Shaco or something, then you can do it really easily too. But just always keep your eyes peeled, guys, because sneaking away Baron, if the enemy team doesn't know you're doing it and you can do it in decent time, then that's all you gotta worry about, really. So yeah, beautiful stuff. So we end the there was a bit of like, you know, the elo display wasn't quite there, or maybe the elo display was like, I don't know. Either way, we end the video here one win away from our promos. So next video will be whether or not we can get into our Diamond 1 promos and carry the game. So thanks for watching the video, boys and girls. I appreciate you spending your time watching my videos. It's all good stuff. Hope you guys are enjoying the end of the season. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever it is where you are from, and I will see you in my next video.